So Meghan reached out to her father after his emergency leg amputation. The same dad who betrayed her trust for a check. And the haters are choking on their own storyline right now. Thomas Markle didn't just make mistakes. He staged paparazzi photos, sold access, and then lied about it publicly, turning Meghan's real trauma into tabloid content for profit. If you think someone deserves unlimited access to you after that level of betrayal, I fear for your standards. Even after years of dragging her name and feeding tabloid stories about her, Meghan still showed compassion and reached out during a literal life or death crisis. That's a bigger person than any of our critics could ever dream to be. Meanwhile, the Meghan-obsessed haters, the ones who screamed, she abandoned her dad, while clutching fake family value pearls, are suddenly quiet. Y'all built entire careers online, acting like she was a heartless villain. And now, reality is tap dancing on your necks in the hottest Balenciaga heels. You demanded she repair the relationship. She tried. You called her cold when she was protecting her peace. You'll call her performative now that she's showing empathy. The insanity never ends. Face it, the hate isn't based on actions. It's based on your addiction to vilifying a woman who refuses to be your punching bag. If Meghan supporting her father in a medical emergency still isn't enough for you, then the issue was never her choices. It was your need for a villain. Your hate is a personality trait at this point. So yeah, Meghan reached out because she's human and compassionate. And the people who lied about her character, they're stuck swallowing the sourest, driest slice of crow imaginable. And the best part? They'll keep trying to spin it, but everyone sees the flop. Because when the truth lands, it lands. And right now, it's sitting on the haters' chest like a full-grown elephant.
What's up, Sussex squad? Today, we're diving into a breaking story that has shaken headlines, stirred up debates, and once again pulled Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, into a deeply personal moment being turned into a public spectacle. I'm talking about the news confirmed by Meghan's spokesperson that she has reached out to her father following his emergency surgery, in which he reportedly had his left leg amputated below the knee. This is a serious medical event. This is a life-altering procedure. And this is a moment no daughter wants to face, no matter the relationship. But of course, in true tabloid fashion, what should have been a private, compassionate moment has already been turned into a narrative war, with GB News leading the charge. So today we're unpacking what actually happened to Thomas Markle, what Meghan's spokesperson really confirmed, how the media is trying to spin this, and what all of this means going forward. The breaking headline came from GB News, a source that loves to discuss Meghan, but rarely from a place of neutrality. A spokesperson for Meghan told them directly, "I can confirm she has reached out to her father." That's it. A simple, direct, factual statement. No drama, no theatrics, no elaboration. But the confirmation alone was enough to set social media on fire, trigger panel discussions, and spark hours of commentary. Why? Because for years, Meghan's relationship with her father has been one of the most exploited storylines in the UK press. But today, the focus shifted to something far more serious, his health crisis. According to reports, Thomas Markle suffered a sudden medical emergency. He experienced a severe blood clot. Circulation to his lower leg stopped. The tissue turned blue, then black. He was taken to a local hospital and then transferred urgently to a larger one. Doctors told the family surgery was unavoidable. The leg was amputated below the knee in a 3-hour operation. This is not mild. This is not gradual. This is not, he'll be fine in a week. This is a traumatic, life-saving intervention. And in the middle of that, Meghan reached out. Thomas Jr., Meghan's half-brother, gave details to the press about what happened. He said his father's condition deteriorated extremely fast. The discoloration went from blue to black. Doctors warned of sepsis, gangrene, and tissue death. They told him plainly, amputate now or he may not survive. He also revealed that another clot was found in the left thigh. More procedures may be necessary. The next 48 to 72 hours are considered critical. And with those comments, the story escalated from health scare to life and death. This is not a moment anyone takes lightly, not even an estranged daughter who has every reason to maintain boundaries. What does reached out actually mean? We don't know, and we don't need to know. It could be a phone call, a message, communication through a third party, or simply checking on his condition privately. The point is, she made contact. No press conference, no cameras, no dramatic statements, just a human response to a serious situation. But even that wasn't enough to calm the media storm, because for some outlets, the story isn't the medical emergency, or the compassion, or the gravity of the moment. The story is the drama they can invent around it. If you blinked, you missed it, but the spin cycle started almost immediately. Here's how the media framed it. She only reached out because it went public. It's too late for reconciliation. This is a PR move. She ignored him before why now? And my personal favourite, this is Meghan trying to look good. It is astounding how some people refuse to see humanity in anything she does. Let's be clear, a daughter reaching out during a medical emergency is not PR. It is not strategy. It is not optics. It is what any decent human being would do if informed that a parent just lost a limb and is fighting off a potentially fatal infection. But because it's Meghan, the media will twist anything to fit the narrative they've built over 6 years. Here's the key point a lot of people are missing. Reaching out does not equal reconciliation. This is not a reunion story, a forgiveness story, or a sudden mending of years of strained dynamics. It is simply compassion during a crisis. People forget that relationships exist in real time, not in tabloid fantasy. She can care about his health and still maintain boundaries, still protect her peace, still guard her mental health, still choose not to engage beyond a point. All of these things can be true at the same time. But the media loves extremes, so they act like this is either a full reconciliation or a failed attempt, instead of acknowledging the most human explanation. He is seriously ill. She reached out. That's it. Let's go deeper into the current situation, because the medical details are what actually matter here. According to Thomas Jr., the amputation was non-negotiable. Doctors believed the infection risk was severe. Tissue was already dying. Delay could have been fatal. He is now recovering, but the danger is not over. There are two major concerns. Post-surgical infection. The existing clot in the thigh. The first 72 hours after a major limb amputation are extremely high risk. Add in a clot in the upper leg, and that increases the stakes. This means the story is still developing. This means the medical reality is delicate. This means nobody knows what the next week will look like. And all of this is happening while tabloids try to turn tragedy into entertainment. As always, social media split into camps. Camp 1. She did the right thing. People who understand medical emergencies soften even the hardest boundaries. Compassion doesn't mean reconciliation. This is a private family moment. Meghan is allowed to be a human being. Camp 2. The critics. People who say, she waited too long. She caused him stress. This is her fault. She's doing this for publicity. It doesn't matter what she does, the same people will turn it into an attack. She stays silent. She's cold. She reaches out. It's PR. She maintains boundaries. She's cruel. She calls. She's fake. There is literally no version of events that satisfies critics who have already decided she's the villain. And that's why these reactions matter. They reveal just how irrational and personal the hatred toward her has become. Let's bring it back to the human element, because that gets lost when the headlines take over. This is not a celebrity, a royal, a duchess. This is a daughter. And daughters with complicated parents feel something deeply specific during moments like this. Guilt, confusion, worry, fear, compassion, old wounds, and a sense of responsibility mixed with self-protection. It is not simple. It is not black and white. It is not a fairy tale storyline where all the conflict disappears instantly. Meghan has every right to protect her emotional well-being, but she also has the capacity for compassion when life gets serious. That is not contradiction, that is emotional maturity. Let me make this very clear. It does not mean they're reconciling. It does not mean they'll speak publicly. It does not mean the past is forgotten. It does not mean Meghan will visit. It does not mean she will engage beyond what she feels safe doing. One compassionate act does not rewrite years of complicated dynamics. And honestly, nobody has the right to demand that she do more. There are a few paths this situation could take, none of them guaranteed, none of them predictable. 1. Quiet, private updates. She may continue to check in through private channels, away from the media. 1. Limited contact. Just enough to acknowledge the situation without reopening wounds. 1. No further communication. If boundaries become necessary again, that is allowed. 1. Media meddling. Unfortunately, this is the most likely scenario. Tabloids will keep pushing stories, trying to force a narrative. But here's the truth. This moment belongs to Meghan and her own emotional process, not to the people trying to turn it into tabloid content. This part is important. The anti-Meghan media machine relies on one thing: dehumanizing her. They need her to look cold, calculating, selfish, disconnected, vindictive, because if she looks human, compassionate, or emotionally nuanced, the entire smear campaign loses power. So the confirmation that she reached out is a blow to the narrative. And that's why they instantly tried to twist it. She only called because it leaked. She's doing damage control. It's performative. She wants public sympathy. They cannot accept that she might simply be a decent person responding to a sad situation. Humanity does not fit their script, but it is the truth. So here's my final take. This moment isn't about reconciliation. It isn't about drama. It isn't about proving anything. It's about compassion in a moment of crisis. Regardless of the past, regardless of the conflict, regardless of the boundaries, Meghan reached out quietly, respectfully, without cameras. And honestly, that's enough. No daughter owes the world a performance of grief. No daughter owes the public a play-by-play of her emotional decisions. No daughter owes the media a reconciliation timeline. All she owes is respect for her own emotional well-being. And she is honouring that while still extending compassion during a frightening moment. To me, that's dignity, that's maturity, and that's strength. Thank you for joining me today, Sussex Squad. These stories are heavy, but they matter because they show the humanity behind the headlines and the real people beneath the narratives. If you appreciate thoughtful commentary without the noise, make sure you subscribe and stay locked into the Sussex Insights. See you in the next deep dive.